This episode of Fuel the Fire TV podcast is brought to you in part by Kickaboo Meat Seasoning. Go to kickabooshops.com and enter the promo code FTFTV for 10% off all products and seasonings.
All right, welcome to Fuel the Fire TV podcast. We have a special episode here in September 2019. I'm sitting with the champs from the Manitoulin Expositor Salmon Classic. I've got Sean Leduc and his good pal Dave. I want to say Super Dave Angler because that's your Super Dave Angler, Adam Chuck. That's his Instagram handle. How's it going, boys? Cheers! Congratulations!
Cheers! Yeah.
Cheers! Thank you. It's going pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, these guys are good fishing friends of mine. We fish together quite a bit. Sean especially, and Dave and Sean are definitely team members. You won the Manitoulin Expositor. How did it feel?
It felt pretty good. It was a huge relief off my shoulders anyways for finally accomplishing that.
Yeah, after going at it hard for 4 years.
Yeah.
What about you?
It was probably the most insane fishing moment, to be honest. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a crazier finish, you know?
Yeah.
Totally.
Now, the best part of this and what's going to be great for the listeners is that you're going to get to see this all transpire. The shitty thing is that we probably can't get it all on video for the TV show, for the episode, but we're definitely going to put it all on the YouTube channel because the footage that you guys got was fantastic.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It was some chaos going on in the boat, and you know, when you hit a fish like that, you know, the whole boat just kind of freezes and you don't even remember what you did or what you said till you watch everything after.
Yeah.
Right? You're just thinking, you got to land this fish.
Right.
Otherwise, oh God.
Yeah.
You know, and we had a few good chances in the Derby, a couple of heartbreak moments.
Yeah.
But this time, it nothing stupid happened.
Yeah, you fought it. Well, so for the listeners that don't know how it went down, you know, the Derby was an exciting year for the Derby. Probably the best
Hands
year
down.
of the Derby.
Oh,
you know, 40 fish over 20 pounds.
Yeah.
You had to be in the top. To be in the top
It had to
5.
be over 21 pounds for the top 40.
For top 40, right? To be in the top 5, you needed to be almost 26 pounds.
25, yeah.
So, and we were lucky because we got first fish of the week, and it was a big fish, and we were thinking, holy, almost 26 pounds, right? Great, a real good fish. But we knew that there were bigger fish out there.
We knew it was. I to be honest, I'm surprised. I'm still shocked that a 31 pounder won it this year.
Yeah, because we were predicting like 33.
Yeah, 32,
Yeah.
33.
It's a pretty crazy thing to say, though, eh?
Yeah.
But it's
but
true.
but Sean caught a big one.
Yeah.
Right? He
Yeah.
got a big one before the Derby.
Yeah,
Right.
two days
And
before.
we missed a handful of them during the Derby.
Yeah.
And you know, then the 26 set the bar. Then it got beat right away, or it got beat a week later, and then right after that,
A 30.
a 27 came in. Then the 30, right?
Yeah.
So now we're thinking, what the hell? And then it died off, right?
Yeah.
There was like 5 days no lead change
Yeah.
until the last possible morning.
Exactly.
And you know, Aspen, my daughter Aspen, reserved some charters for the end, and we went out that morning with you guys, and you guys went right out past the Bell Improv and went deep, right? Not
I
deep,
stuck to my guns.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you, like you said, you were gonna, right?
Yeah.
And I get a call on the radio saying, we got one on, come out. So I turned the boat and started making my way out. Then I hear on the radio, we got another one, you have to come out now. Right? So I was like, okay, lines up, let's go.
Yeah.
We go out and we pass you guys. I said to them, let's just troll right at them. And you guys turned around, you dumped that fish back in the water. You start coming the other way, and you weren't past us 300 feet. And you're like, we're into a good one. And it ended up being a 31 frickin' pounder.
Yeah.
Wins the Derby with 2 hours to spare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, cutting it close, boys.
Yeah.
It was insane. That's the best way to sum it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like you said, we got out there. We just we called it the night before. We said, screw it, we're not going to the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
There's fish there, but they're always 15, maybe a 20 pounder if you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
And no, Sean always said this from the beginning of the Derby this year, I'd rather take the chance to go deep and hook into a monster and instead of trying to catch, smaller fish.
15 pounders that we caught all year.
Yeah. Right. And you can catch those now. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a good call. That was definitely a good call on your part.
Yeah.
You did your homework, so congratulations on that for both of you guys.
Yeah.
I know you researched a lot. I know you watched a lot of YouTube and did your homework, and it paid off.
Yeah.
And it paid off for me, right? I mean,
No doubt.
we went out and we had this strategy,
Change your tactics.
change the tactics. Which my tactics, I was getting sick of my tactics.
They're all the same as everyone else.
Right.
It's always the same thing every day. I'll still use those tactics as well, but I will implement different things beside them. And
it actually is good because I kind of get bored, right? I mean, I get bored doing the same thing, hoping for the best, and now it just seems like tonight. You guys went out to Kagwong. I went out to Prov because I had a charter. And my charters, like, it was big water. Like, there were some 7-footers out there tonight.
Okay,
that's why by the time we would have got out there, I made the choice fish on shore somewhere.
Fish on shore, for sure. Because it was like clockwork. Big waves going out. Just trying to get to the bell to get set up, tour around there. And one person got sick. Everybody shuts up because everybody's getting sick. Next person gets sick and he never gets sick. Right, and then his wife at the end, and he's like, "That's it, we're pulling the plug." And I take them out. These guys are fishermen. He's a fish biologist. Like, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Right. He's only ever gotten sick. I think he said this was the 3rd time in all of his time on the water.
Wow.
So the waves are big, and then I called you guys and said, "Go and fish my boat. Are you guys coming?" No. So I was like, "Oh, screw it. I'm gonna go fish by myself." And we caught a couple of fish. Lost a monster tonight, like a big fish, but
that's insane, man.
Yeah,
the 30-pound club.
Definitely.
You never know.
It was over 25 for sure. The way
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But you fight a fish, big fish like that for a while. Yeah. For the better part of an hour. It's bigger than what we've caught.
What you expect.
Yeah, for sure. And then I actually thought I lost the Johnny Special because the way that it just came off. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, you know what I mean? Where is it? And nothing. It's just a flasher.
That's unreal.
Gosh.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Just popped off. I mean,
gone.
That's what happens with big fish. They get away. But except for yours.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of them anyways.
Yeah.
So you're gonna mount them. You're gonna mount the 30-pounders.
Yeah.
Who's doing your mount?
Gary Foreman's doing them. Foreman. He's half done one and started on the other.
And he's good. Like I've gotten some things done by Gary. I got a deer and got a nice walleye done in Sudbury. So Gary Foreman Taxidermy does a fantastic job. Absolutely. That'll look good. Are they the same way, or are they going to be?
Unfortunately, the other fish, the Derby winner, I couldn't put it facing the way I wanted with the other fish because of the damage on the one side from the cut, from the incision. Well, that was the side with the lamprey eel mark as well.
On it. Yeah.
So they'll both be facing the same way, but that's okay. I could always put the other one on the other side or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll make it look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That'll look like be beyond cool. It'll be badass for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be a start to the Wall of Kings for the future to come.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing about that fish is that it was 44 inches long. Honestly, I think if that thing was caught a month ago, it would be a lot thicker. To be honest.
Plus it had a lamprey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It probably lost some weight because it was
44
pretty
inches.
dark.
It's yeah.
He said that's the longest Chinook he's ever gonna. Not the heaviest, but the longest.
Yeah.
44.
Yeah. 44 inches.
It was just a tank. I can't wait to. I've watched that video. Well, when we came back and watched it, we're laughing our asses off because you guys are pretty jacked.
Some shenanigans going on the boat.
Yeah, you guys are pretty jacked for sure.
Yeah.
You're yelling at my boat from your boat. It was funny.
Yeah.
We're getting drunk tonight. And Dave, you said, you're like, what'd you say? I didn't. And he's like, nothing. I'm just yelling at Neil. We're gonna get fucked up at his house. But you haven't even caught the fish yet. You were just yelling it.
I knew when I set the hook.
Pretty quick.
I looked over at him when I set the hook, and I told him this is it.
Yeah.
I wasn't kidding. I felt that enough times this year now to know when it's a nice fish.
When it's a nice fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you hear the line just melt out of the reel, just like in crazy bursts. And the thing just kept going, and we knew this was. Yeah. We knew it was the top fish. You know, whether it would win the Derby, we didn't know.
Yeah.
When I seen it surface, I knew that was going to win the Derby. Yeah. I've never seen a salmon like that. Yeah. Like the closest fish I've ever seen to that sort of view was maybe a muskie, right?
Yeah.
They get big, but this is a salmon.
And it was so thick though. It's so much thicker than like you know what I mean. Like
it's wider and
there's stocked fish, right? Like and its tail was still sticking out of the net.
Yeah.
When you look at the net job, it's sticking out of the net.
Fish.
So what's next? What are you guys are fishing from shore now, right?
Yeah.
So you guys never stop.
Shore season.
Never stop, stop, and that's what's awesome about this area.
Yeah,
is it's incredible, right?
Yeah. People don't know it though. I mean, people know it, but I don't know anybody that fishes like even locals that fish like you guys. I mean, I know there are some guys that go at it pretty hard, but
we don't do the same thing though every time we go.
Right.
I know how to use wraps, spoons, flies, worms, roe, and I know several ways of using things like that differently as well.
Yeah. And the key is switching things up, you know, and times too. Like weather. If all you fish is a perfect sunny day, quiet weather, like you'll obviously you'll catch fish in prime seasons. But if you want to see some crazy stuff, you gotta think outside the box sometimes and
go in shitty weather, go in rain,
rough stuff.
Yeah. Well, like tonight, I even said to those guys, they're like, "Oh, should we go out?" I'm like, "Absolutely. This is the best time, right? It's freaking wavy.
Shadows.
You know
fish are more comfortable.
Yeah.
Though they will ease in more and
there was nobody there. I was the only boat out there, so there's no disturbance in the force except for me, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, I get a charter again tomorrow night, but I'm gonna stick inside the bell and just fool around in there, right?
Yeah. At this point, the fish are going to be driven in, right? So every day that goes by, they're just getting closer and closer to doing their thing. So, but you know, we're picking up fresh fish from shore even.
Yeah.
Actually, crazy thing, I had a buddy come up from down south this last weekend, and he's never even seen a salmon in his life, eh? And he finally made it up. He's come up for rainbows and stuff, and third cast in, boom, salmon. And he's like, oh man, like freaking out, like he's
from shore,
right? It was about an 8-pounder, you know.
Yeah.
And it was very quick windows, maybe 10 minutes. The fish were in great as the sun's coming up, and then they would move out.
Yeah.
So the last day I said, oh, screw this, you know, we're gonna rent some kayaks.
Yeah.
Rented a couple of kayaks, and swam out. And just to the area where they're staging out there, freaking in 5-10 minutes. Oh, I got one, and the thing's dragging the kayak. I'm talking. Really? Oh my god, I'm paddling after him. It's pulling the kayak, okay, and peeling line too. But he's taken off, and I never really thought about it. Like, how am I gonna land this fish? I don't have my net.
Yeah. And
this it's a nice fish. It's stripping line, eh? So. After about maybe 20 minutes, and I tried grabbing onto his kayak to see if we can weigh it down a little. It would still pull us both. And then it was going all around us. I'm ducking over the rod. It's trying to go under the kayaks. And finally it came up, and I just managed to handball it. And about a 15-pounder, you know. Yeah. But he was thrilled, eh? Second salmon of his life. And
and he got it from his kayak.
He got it.
Okay, I thought you were on it.
No.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so he had a crazy experience, you know, like first time salmon fishing. It doesn't compare to anything else when you have a salmon on line. Yeah, you know, there's nothing that takes off line like that.
Takes off line and just screams it.
Yeah, it was just wicked from a kayak, you know.
Yeah,
and
I haven't done that. Right, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool. So I'm definitely gonna try that again. Yeah, I want to chance at that.
I watched it. I don't know what it was. It was he caught a marlin from a kayak, and it took him 8 miles out.
Holy crap!
And you know what I mean? Then he brought it up alongside the kayak, and it's as big as the kayak. He unhooks it and lets it go. But
That's insane.
just 8 miles, right?
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, he's out in the middle of the ocean. Like, you know what I mean? 8 miles from, you're out twice as far. How far are the humps in Prov?
4.5.
So you're double that. Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it took him longer to come back than what it did to go out there, I would imagine.
Yeah. He's flying out there, for sure.
I think I'd be freaking out at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So, bucket list, you got the salmon. You guys won the salmon derby, which is great. And, we said that, like we said at the beginning, we just want to be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Right. And you guys, we did that, right? I got into the top 5. You guys won it, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. We won the youth, right? At a little guy catch a. That was a huge goal of mine. I want to get one of my girls in the top 5. I want them to catch. I want them to frickin' win it. Is what I want them to do, right? Because it's possible.
Yes.
Because there wasn't enough girls in that. There were no girls in that. Oh no, there was one youth.
Yeah, Randy Pincus's daughter. Right. I can't remember.
Yeah, she came 3rd or something in the youth, right? Yeah. So, but there needs to be more women in that whole thing, reeling in some fish, because there's some really good anglers out there. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that. I'm going to push that a little bit. But now you guys are going to fish from shore mostly, or what's next on your fishing routine?
Definitely a bit of perch fishing in the boat before I put the boat away, and hopefully a handful more times at Prov or somewhere. Yeah. And then a lot of shore fishing, and rainbow season starts in a month or so, just around the corner, and be fishing that till January pretty hard.
So for rainbow, you fish that from shore? From
shore. The boat would work, but what's the point?
Yeah, it's awesome to get them on just light tackle. And
what kind of tackle are you using for rainbow?
Some of our favorites, honestly, flies amazing.
And twitching jigs.
Roe is your standard. Everyone's gonna fish roe. You have to have it.
It's for the tough days.
For the tough days, some days they just want that, but there's other days you could throw all the roe sacks you want at them, and you put on the twitching fly, and you're getting fish after fish.
Twitching fly, are you using just a regular spinning reel, or can you use
you can use bait cast, or the center pin would be a balanced fly, or the same thing but just a smaller weight for the jig on the head, or even weightless. We have some weightless with beads, and he makes some pretty nice ones. And
it's cheaper to just tie your own. You buy and simple marabou jig design. I mean, literally, you can either buy a ready jig head or just use like the pins with the beads for lighter ones, and you tie on some marabou feathers with some thread, and they crush them. Then you don't care if you lose some. You're not paying $4 a jig, and you can make some cool colors too. But it depends on the conditions too. If the river conditions are nice, there's lots of flow, the center pin is hard to beat. Like it's probably my favorite way to get them. Like the reel is 1-to-1 ratio, so every crank is just 1-to-1 for the line you pull in. It's really fun to get fish that way.
You are the drag as well.
You're the drag. So it's like the manual of fishing reels, But if the river conditions are really like frog water, really really calm, those fish, man, they see that bobber. You throw that in, you'll see a pot of rainbows just freak out. Like how many
they'll actually swim away from it or around it.
And then you go stealth, right? Spinning reel, light, easy setup.
Tiny sinkers,
pieces
of worm, pieces of float, like rolling, like our own tide,
a twitching jig,
floating row,
right on,
or little twitching jigs, like 1/16 to 1/8 ounce weights.
Now, where do you do most of your? Where will you fish most of that? Here on the island?
Yeah. Cagawan, Wolseley, Gold Islands,
anywhere really on the island. Like the rainbows come in all sorts of
areas. There's other places that are people don't even know about that
right.
you can catch them.
And every place kind of has its own
Uniqueness.
routine, you know.
Yeah.
So if you fish it for a few years, you know, like living in the area, you get to come out and actually study the river. Each time you go for a fishing trip, you learn, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's, you know, you can't get enough of it.
You know, we still haven't done a complete fishing from shore episode, and we said we did a little bit of one, and we got a segment.
Yeah.
But it's tough because it's so much fun, right? So we put the camera down and we end up fishing, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's something that we need to put a little bit of more thought into is to have
timing is hard on shore as well, because the
it
best
varies.
days that you're gonna do when you're fishing are gonna be the days you weren't expecting to do
Right.
your best.
yeah. So you
Hands
have a
down.
GoPro or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or days where you plan on going to catch fish, like we have some night fishes.
Yeah.
Or nights where you don't even get a walleye or whatever, and then one night you just luck out, but it's not camera conditions for
Right.
the fishing.
Yeah. Just like tonight was shitty. But you know what? Some of that stuff is good for content for Instagram and whatever. Anyway,
There you go.
you guys do it. I mean, we watched some of your old footage,
Yeah.
like old. What was that? GoPro 1.
Not even GoPro, that was the Contour,
Yeah.
right?
That's awesome. And the footage was awesome. Like there was was that thing's waterproof? Contour was waterproof?
Yeah, it was.
Is that a case?
It was waterproof without the case, which is what I liked. Originally, it was good because it was a good price, and it got 1080p footage.
Yeah.
But eventually, I went to the GoPro because it's got really high frames per second. I like the slow motion.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Contour is completely waterproof, so I'd always put it underwater and get some release shots.
Yeah, get the release shots. Your release shots
Yeah.
were awesome.
Yeah.
Really good rainbow stuff.
I love videotaping, the release. That's probably the best part. And
Yeah.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. That's
Watch them
awesome.
swim away.
Watching them swim away, and we did some pretty cool swimaways too,
Yeah.
like with those big walleyes,
Yeah.
in the spring.
Yeah.
Seeing those tanks just kind of
Just
You know what I mean?
slowly make their way back into the current.
down.
That's
to the
another magical month, you know what I mean? Like you get that.
Yeah.
The whole year, the whole season, it's like a cycle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every it varies from year to year depending on month of time.
Yeah.
But you start checking conditions and
Yeah, because you guys will drive in from Sudbury to check the current, and if it's no
yeah.
good, you won't fish.
exactly.
Well,
Still
they'll just
fish
might
and-
change my area or change the way we fish in the conditions.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll do rainbow, and then will you fish perch here in Mindy? In Lake Mindemoy?
I used to fish Manitoulin, but I like the Manitou.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a much tighter area to fish than Manitoulin. I find
Like for perch?
yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Nice.
Manitoulin has a lot of spots. Like I know 7 spots that are really good, but the majority of the time there's 40 boats in the
Right.
spots. So
Yeah. Tons
More
of people.
pressure.
yeah. And then the other spots are hit or miss as well.
Right. So you're trying to look for. Now in the fall, the jumbos are like 13, 14,
Yeah.
15 inches.
Yeah.
Right.
They're you got to filter through them and move, but I usually just troll around and mark the big balls that are 10 to 15 feet thick and
Yeah.
try to filter them out. And usually the bigger balls, the perch will continue moving. They don't
Stick
even if you got multiple lines in the water at all times, like if everybody has their line in the water and you still can't stay on top of them, even pulling the anchor and smashing it on bottom and making just like disturbance and stuff will just bring in the little guys. You got to usually pull the anchor up and keep moving and
Right.
try to hit that another big ball that you mark, and then usually you have just enough time to catch 2 or 3 monsters and repeat.
Yeah. So you'll do rainbows. You'll throw some perch in there. What about crappie fishing?
No, I don't know the spots in the North Channel for that.
And there are spots like around
Yeah.
here.
Supposedly, yeah.
Lots of spots in the North Channel.
Around Espinal, there's supposed to be some good spots.
Even Whitefish Falls area, and I've caught some there in the
Upper
fall
Spanish.
on the docks when I was younger.
Yeah.
Fishing for bass.
I've never had. People are saying I'm missing out, and there's TV shows that are just about crappie fishing.
Yeah,
right?
crappie
So,
fishing's pretty big down south.
popular.
huge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And apparently it's a good eater. I've never even had it.
That'd be the only
Supposed
reason
to be
why I
awesome.
would fish it. It would be one good eat, just
Yeah.
like perch. Do one
Yeah.
or two perch fishes, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So after that, you'll fish rainbow. What happens in the winter? What do you guys have on for the
Well,
winter?
you know, I originally I'm from down south, from Windsor.
Okay.
So every year, even since I moved up here, I've been up here almost 5 years now. I still go home to visit in October for one reason. It's because the muskie season heats up. So I squeeze in some St. Clair muskies, just like the good old days. That's what I came from. It was bred a muskie guy.
Okay.
And obviously, when I came up here and tasted the salmon and trout fishing, I got right into it. But I need my muskie fix, so I always take at least a week down in October and fish for muskies from shore, and always at least get 6 or 7 in a trip. I mean, St. Clair is an amazing fishery.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
Phenomenal, you know.
You see people hucking baits there because I did a charter down there and we did an episode.
Yeah.
And as we're coming out of the river
In the Thames,
in the Thames,
Yeah.
people are like,
I was
like
probably there.
50 baits like coming at us. They're
Yeah.
just like, monster baits being chucked as far as they can.
Oh, you get a line of shoulder to shoulder, and you see half-pound rubber baits flying all over.
All over.
But I've seen days where every single person caught at least one fish.
Yeah.
That does happen. And you get 50 inches from shore. I mean, my first fish last year is the second time I went out and was a 50 incher.
Right.
Just like that from shore. I mean, there's good muskie.
How the hell do they get so big there? Like, what's the...
Shad.
Yeah, they have abundance of gizzard shad in St. Clair. So in the falls, they come into the marinas and shallow areas there.
all those little estuaries and whatever.
Yeah, and they get pretty big. I mean, shads can 12, 14 inches, pretty big. And
Really? And it's a shallow lake.
very shallow. It's a puddle.
It's like, what's the deepest spot?
I think 20 something.
I was gonna say
feet.
like 30 feet. Right?
Max average is 12. That's what.
Yeah,
the
because we
average
were
is.
fishing 10 feet. Like we were trolling in 10 feet everywhere.
It's a different. It's its own. It's a muskie factory. That's what St. Clair is, and it's shallow, and you rip baits fast. You can either troll or cast, and it's insane. But
I'll never swim in that lake.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's
crawling with muskie.
I still strongly believe up north around here in these
Bigger
in these
muskie.
areas there's some truly behemoths, and you have to think St. Clair's a lake that gets pounded by thousands of fishermen for muskies every year, and look at what the lake record is. I think it's 57 3/4 or something, close to 58. And up here you have these rocky islands, deeper water. There's tons of bait.
Not as many
And
muskie.
who is fine? Yeah, I know there's some muskie guys, really good muskie guys
Yeah,
out there.
Mike Sprack. There's a few of them.
Yeah, but it's not fished the same way as St. Clair, and you have tons of water. You got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And those things can hide, and I would not be surprised if.
And that's
there's
what and that's what they do. The Manitoulin boys are the only. Well, you know what? There's some little current guys too. You've got Cody Leeson. He,
I met him at
he's making
Swift Current.
some baits, some musky
right
baits.
Goat.
And you've got Bushman. What the hell's Bushman's real name? That's Anderson. Ian's son. I don't know what he goes by. I can't remember his real name. Anyway, this guy, they fish hard. So there are some guys that are doing it, and they're getting monster muskies. I think Buck Phillips or maybe Mike does it as well. But they're doing it in Killarney Channel, and I don't know where they go there, but in October, November, those guys bugger off, and they're using monster baits right where where Hole in the Wall is, like as you're going into Killarney, between Fraser and Killarney, there's tons of lake trout there, right? Okay. You know what I mean? 1 pounder, 2 pounder, 10 pounder, and they say that place is just musky heaven.
There you go.
that's what they're eating. Those 2-3 pound.
And see that, hearing that just makes me believe there's a 60-incher out there. Just no one's ever caught it because it's just there's not enough people. I don't think, and it's got all the room to hide all the islands and like it's deeper water.
Well, the same night we saw those 2 sturgeon at Swift Current. I saw a muskie about 4 a.m. It was so surreal because at first I thought it was another sturgeon coming through at 4 a.m. at in Little Current area at Goat, and it was a giant muskie because it just sat there and it didn't move on top of the water for like 2 minutes. And when I casted near it, it actually flinched for my bait, but then it stopped and it just turned around and slowly swam away.
I don't think people.
It was pretty wild.
Know,
it was big.
What's there?
It was over 5 feet long for sure.
in that little spot, in those little spots.
Yeah.
There's fucking tanks for fish.
The key is going at night.
Yeah.
The saying is true. The freaks come out at night. You know, that hasn't been truer. If you want to see some crazy things,
and go there.
Go at night.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And it takes, it takes a lot of gumption to go and do it, right? Because
you need confidence, right? Like you have to know that there's gonna be stuff.
There's gonna be fish there at some point.
Yeah.
Right. But that's it. There are some nights that they're not that good there, and you're doing.
Or it's a small window and you missed it.
And you missed it, right? Current change or whatever, right? And but man, nothing gives you confidence like hooking into a big one.
No doubt.
And doing it for years and years. I do just as much night fishing as I do day fishing some years.
Ugh, I don't even know how you walk because you fish all the time. I can't imagine.
Lots of energy drinks for sure.
Yeah, lots
Keep
of coffee.
it going,
Yeah. Lake trout, ice fishing. Where do you guys? I like catching lake trout through the ice with a little rod. I mean, they scrap.
Originally Wanapitei, but I do most of my lake trout fishing on Panage Lake.
Panage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Dave?
So I mean, when I lived on the island, I would go to Manitou.
Yeah.
I've done really, really well, even off the North Channel, even like in Gorbet.
Yep.
You walk out there, and I remember one season I pulled in over 100 in a season.
Yeah.
And I mean that there a lot of them were smaller. I hooked in maybe to one monster. I ended up losing.
Yeah.
But you had some mornings you go for an hour and get 12 of them.
Right.
Just it's fun. You know.
It is fun, and those little they fight like little bastards. Those lake trout through the ice on a small.
Yeah, they'll peel line.
Yeah. they are the target fish through the ice. By far my favorite.
Yeah, they are fun.
I did a trip with a buddy actually to Elliott Lake. I had to try it out.
Yeah.
And we went out to one of the lakes there, and we ended up getting 20 of them. And I got one about 10 pounds, right? Probably could have been 13. It was really skinny.
Yeah.
But I was trying some uncut angling stuff, putting big dead herrings on the bottom, eh?
Yeah.
But we went for 2 days. I mean, you can't expect that the second you put in a big bait, you're gonna get a 30 pounder. But you never know. Yeah. You got to try.
You'd have to spend 5 days if you
5
want that 30 pounder.
What these guys do to get these big ones in Manitou is they fish way up high for lake trout.
Under the ice. They look for injured suckerfish and stuff.
Yeah, they're
like
fishing like 10 feet below the ice, right? In 60, 80 feet of water.
Yeah.
And getting those, any 15 plus, right?
Yeah.
Which is a real good lake trout, especially through the ice.
But you can catch those 20 plus fish in 250 feet of water on bottom as well.
Yeah.
So.
That's something I've always wanted to try is get out like way out on the North Channel. If it's a good freeze, see if you can find some salmon because they do get caught. Yeah, but you got to find the deepest points, and you only have maybe an hour. They'll shoot up. Feed and then back down.
They do it down south in like Owen Sound, right?
Yeah.
Like on the off the Bruce there where it freezes, and they say it's freaking. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Like
that would be the best.
It would
fight.
be ridiculous. We know if they fight anything like they do now.
Yeah.
It would be ridiculous.
You better have a big. You better have a 4,000 on your ice fishing rod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Just
doubt.
spool you right up.
Yeah.
I actually, I always like to try some crazy stuff. I'm always, like I was saying, I tie flies and I like to tinker with spoons, paint them with nail polish. I have a homemade plug,
Yeah.
the Galaxy plug, and it's been catching fish,
Yeah. Every time we use it.
Like you carved it yourself?
No. So it was a pure white lion. I had
Okay.
a classic one, and I painted it myself. So it's purple with like a blue ladder back and orange belly. And instead of red on the lip there, I put chartreuse. And,
Chartreuse Cyclops.
Yeah.
But so something I tried through the ice this last year that's really fun is using a center pin on an ice rod. And it is actually a blast.
So you're just trying to like slow the fish down here?
Yeah, you're using...
Oh, no, I'm like this size of a rod?
I got about on a 38 inch rod.
So it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's a blast. One advantage I like about it,
Free spool and
like if you have an ice sight, your line's not going to freeze on you. You're pretty good, which I normally do set up mine, but a few times I didn't, and it sucks if the line freezes on a spinning reel, but on that, because it's a big diameter reel, you can get some line ice buildup, and it still just goes down perfect.
Right.
And you get a nice drop, especially if you're going for Lakers. Like if you're
they'll free run with it before you
oh
get
gosh,
there.
you drop it right down. It your tube jig or whatever you're using goes perfectly, and you can control the perfect speed. You can just slowly speed it up, go faster, and in the winter the Lakers, it's getting them to engage in that chase.
Right.
For the most part.
We do most of the lake trout ice fishing I do is with a buddy of mine, Dave Millette, because he fishes quite a bit on Lake Manitou and he has tons of spots. So, and he just likes to fish for 20 minutes, and if they're there, they're there, and if they're not, we're moving to the next spot because you'll find them. Right.
Usually you catch them right after you drill a hole.
Right there. Yeah. And monster ling, like there's monster ling in Manitou.
I that's where I got my biggest ling.
Yeah.
I was trying for Lakers, and I thought I had a big one. And it was fighting. It hit a jig and a fluke minnow, and it was a 34-inch ling.
Just a big snake.
Greaser, you pull it out and it's
wrapping around your leg. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So if there's, I got a couple of questions, but target species that you haven't fished that you want to fish.
Okay.
Probably tarpon.
Tarpon, 100%. I'd be into that.
Yeah. Just because how difficult they are to actually get a good hook set, and how difficult they are to keep on your line after you actually
I've been watching some crazy tarpon videos. I don't know why they're showing up on my whatever. I must be dreaming it. And like they're launching 8 feet in the air. Like these tarpon are insane.
It's like a sturgeon. They chase them with the boat too.
Yeah, it's like a ginormous minnow.
A giant shiner.
It is, and it kind of looks just like an emerald shiner or a lake shiner.
150.
And you see those tarpon tournaments where they're fishing. All the boats are so close, and then someone yells "shark, shark," and then everybody comes and tries to run over that shark, but they're like almost crashing boats to try and
because the sharks will try to eat
they'll try to eat
the tarpon while you're fighting.
I've seen lots of videos of that.
So tarpon would be good. What about you, Dave?
That's a hard question. There's a lot I'd like. Just watch anything Jeremy Wade fishes for. But if anything, I honestly would love to go for like Southern America fishing, peacock bass, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, tarpon. I was, stole the words out of my mouth.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I'd love to get one jigging, especially like a Bondi bait.
Yeah.
Really good bait for muskies, and apparently he sells it pretty good there because they get a season where all those tarpon come in, And
right.
Or
South America,
Arapaimas, that sort of stuff.
I think for me, one of the things that I'd love to try would be marlin.
Oh yeah.
Like to be on a big boat with, you know, 5 or 6 guys that are all taking cracks at
Flatlining with 20 lines behind
just
the boat.
for something crazy where you get into, like, I always look at that video and I loved it. I think partly because they put Top Gun soundtrack in there, but it was called Big Trouble on Little Annie, I think, or Little Audrey. And this 600-pound tarpon jumps into the boat.
Oh yeah.
Holy moly.
And it actually flicks its sword, and it catches a chair, and that chair goes hurtling through the air and picks off this poor bastard picks him right off.
God.
And then it's like flopping around so anybody could be getting killed, and then flops out of the boat, right? Like, can you imagine the adrenaline from that? Because they're just, then you see it come and it's coming at the boat, and then all of a sudden it's in the boat. And they have multiple angles because the one dumb bastard's walking around there and he's running around with a GoPro on a stick, so they got like 9 different cameras on it. Wow, it's crazy, and that's something that I think I'd like to try is that tarpon. You know, even going down for peacock bass too. I think that'd be cool. Or
even tuna. I feel like at least if it does jump in a boat, you don't have a sword flying everywhere.
Insane.
You know, like the blue tunas, like that's that. But yeah, the marlin, big time. I mean, that's something else. I could only imagine what that feels like.
Oh. What about Alaska?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Char.
Arctic char.
Yeah.
Hands down.
River fishing Arctic char.
I would
off
just bring
the
my
ocean.
center pin
And that would be my other go-to.
I know they would hit some of the stuff because, I mean, what's the fishing pressure there?
Yeah.
Well, even in the Labrador area, anywhere, wherever there's an Arctic char run, Alaska, they're obviously a lot larger runs, but that's hands down something that I really wanted to
even
experience.
Salmon and trout from those that West Coast, right? They're so huge.
West Coast.
Holy.
You know, when you go out and try some go for, you know, when you're getting 30-pounder after 30-pounder on some of those charters, right? Like out in the ocean, that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see a video of a 60-pounder get caught, and you're just looking at that like, what the hell? Like, you know,
what is that
around here? You know, 40-pounder. That's like, whoa. Like,
what won the Derby? It was 38. Did the 38 win the Lake Ontario?
I didn't check, to be honest. I don't even know.
Always pretty close
usually
to 40,
it's always around 40 area.
Big fish there.
Chaz was showing me the 38 that was leading it for a while.
Wow.
And what a tank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just monster fish, right?
Yeah.
Then you go out west and it's like, oof.
How do you even horse that up? What do they have, 40-pound?
No, you just tire the fish out. They probably have 30 though. A lot of
30.
guys use 30-pound to keep they have a much more infestation of spiny water flea, and apparently 30-pound test keeps them off your line. So
I wish I had 30-pound on tonight. Horse that fishing a little bit.
Don't matter. The 30-pound test isn't to horse the fish, and it's just to keep spiny water flea off. You will lose those fish if you try to horse them.
No.
They're hard on gear.
You have to let that one go. But,
that's tough, man. That's it just sucks losing one.
You gotta drown them, and then sometimes you even have to go towards it.
Yeah,
like we would have had to put another 10 minutes on our fish if we wouldn't have done that. We had made a huge circle to go slowly towards that fish. He just went back down the bottom and stayed there.
Yeah,
we were just slowly trolling away, and the fish was just staying on bottom, slowly pulling line out because the fish wasn't moving anymore.
Right.
So that's why I told him to slowly start making a circle and go back towards that fish, because otherwise we would have never brought him in.
Yeah. It was nice and calm that day though too.
Yeah. That's why it was actually kind of ironic, because all the other times we hooked into a big fish,
it's been rough.
It was pretty scary out there.
But it was pretty much instant from the second we dropped the lines. Like, my rod went off instantly.
And then I missed one, and then we had a double header. Mine got off, and he landed his, and then boom, that fish.
Yeah. We kept the one, 14, 15 pounder, and
just in case for a day prize.
When you put it in next to that fish, it looked like a minnow.
Yeah.
It looked like
That's awesome.
like it was 2 pounds.
Yeah. It doesn't even look like it's half the size, and it was.
What do you guys have planned with your big winnings for your $6,000 each?
Just bank it, and some of it went towards the mount.
Yeah.
And maybe all three of us go to New York in Henderson's Point.
I'm in.
Plan a trip.
Yeah, for sure.
Do some
Yeah.
Lake O salmon
Yeah.
fishing, you know.
Yeah.
Go do some real hot zone fishing.
Some hot zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be so down for that. That would be fantastic.
That would be a very good episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
That would be something.
It would be just a good experience.
That'd just be fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be
Fishing
a
for
riot.
fun. You know, and that's something that, because I talked to Brian Coy and he called me yesterday and he went, I don't know what, he went 11 for 14 this weekend or whatever. He had a good weekend, right? But and that's what he said. It was just fun to fish for fun again, not the pressure of the derby. And I'm kind of always under some kind of pressure because we're doing charters.
Because I was actually
95% of the
avoiding
time.
catching fish half of the derby.
Right.
Running less lines, even if we could have ran 4 lines,
Yeah.
we still just ran 2 lines.
Yeah.
Concentrated on bigger fish and
Yeah.
different water depths, and because the higher lines always catch smaller fish, so why even have them out there if
Gets in the way.
it gets in the way? It
Wasting time.
stops you from leaving your other lines and concentrating on those, and then you got to put them back on the stacker, and
Right.
so you're constantly leaving the lines that you should
When
be
you're going
working
for a
on.
big fish, when
Yeah.
I'm going, I like going for
Yeah.
any kind of fish.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we have charter clients, so we're
Yeah.
trying to.
You have
You gotta
you have
try
to
something for
you have to
sure.
produce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, then that rounds out. So your ice fishing, you'll do some. You ice fish for walleye?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Walleyes. There's some good lakes and all around.
Yeah.
Probably won't reveal the names.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We first ice, last ice, it's wicked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they're
Last ice
stacked
is
up,
always great. Yeah.
stack up on the shelves and stuff.
They do their feeding before they run shallow after the ice.
Yeah, and then they fight good, you know.
Right.
And if we had them hit the lines just like a lake trout, you pull it, the thing flies up 20 feet in the water column and smashes your
Smashes
boat,
it.
you know.
What do you guys think about the Scotty boxes idea in the streams?
I'll be there helping.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think it's great. It seems like, you know, whatever's going on with the lakes, it seems like it's stabilizing.
Bait fish
I
are
mean,
sustaining.
It's amazing that we're getting 30 pounders, like, you know, not just, you know, us, but they're getting
People
caught,
get 'em.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had a monster today, like, I'm sure
That was
you
over
haven't
20 for sure.
I'm sure you haven't had a fish like that in a
No,
while.
I've like that would have
Never
been by
anything
far
like
my
that.
PB for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
because I don't catch a whole lot of fish in my boat, right? I'm someone that's always on the reel, so you know. But feeling that's a great feeling. Seeing that fish is you know what you guys caught and what people are catching. Having 40 fish over 20. Remember in the first year of the Derby, like a 20-pounder was
21-pound fish
I think
was
we-
the only
was-
fish over 20 pounds that got caught and won the Derby.
18.6.
Yeah.
Yeah, towards
Which is
the
in
end.
the top
and
10 still.
It was
Yeah.
in the top 10.
Yeah,
Think about that.
18.6.
Yeah.
And that was a joke. I didn't even weigh my fishes that were that size this year.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
even care to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because it would have been in like.
Even those days, there was always a fish 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 pounds bigger than 18 to 22 pounds caught. So
Woody did good this year.
Yeah.
Out in Frog, he got a
Yeah.
couple of 24.
You got a
It
couple
seemed like he
of
was getting the big
hogs.
ones.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, for sure. I mean, lots of people did really well, and that's great to see. And I think it's because of conservation efforts.
Big time.
You know what I mean? Manitoulin Streams. I always got to give them a plug, just because of the work they do in stream rehab and
yeah,
you know,
making better reds,
making
and-
better habitat.
Big
Yeah.
time.
Right, so that always is a help. And if people are looking to help with the Scotty boxes or show support to Dave Patterson,
most definitely.
you know, make sure that you reach out to the expositor and tell them that you want to support it. Write letters to the ministry. We want to see that sports fishery, you know, is important, especially for Manitoulin, because it's our tourism is our economy.
as long
Yeah.
as the bait fish are there and
Yeah.
the zooplankton and the phytoplankton, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes sense. But
Yeah.
if hopefully the lake trout don't turn things around out there in the next couple of years.
In their numbers, they could, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
There's a
because
lot more
they're
lake trout
feeding
out there than
machines
ever.
and it seems like that's what they're stocking. And I mean, it's great. I know it's the natural fish of the area, but you know,
Commercial
think if you're
fishermen
gonna
shouldn't
learn
be
any
complaining
lesson,
about lake trout.
a lot of times I think if you don't, you know, I mean, it's just an opinion, but you know, we're out there fishing all the time. You're out there fishing. How many Lakers do you pull in?
Yeah.
And I mean, they're feeding machines.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing quite well.
They're repopulating themselves now. We don't need any more. Don't have shortage like they do.
Like even
before.
they cut back and just let it chill. Like the lakes seem to, you know,
they made a comeback because the alewife are gone.
Yeah. And it's nice that look at the salmon. It's not like the 80s where they were just stacked over each other and like
Dark
it
waters.
Seems like it's stable. Like
they found a balance and nature always kind
the
of
ecosystem always. It could take 10 years. It could take 100, but hopefully we don't make it worse.
Yeah,
and take another 10 years to fix itself.
Out of the league.
Yeah, for sure. So if people are looking to contribute, they could always do that. And but if they want to see, you've got a good Instagram page. What is it? Super Dave Angler?
Yeah, Super Dave, super_Dave_ Angler.
Right.
And
tons of content. And do you have YouTube too?
Yeah, YouTube as well.
Same thing.
Super Dave Angler, just one word. I'm kind of restructuring my channel right now. I want to kind of get some more instructional.
How-to kind of stuff.
Yeah, how-to. Yep. I do a lot of. You get to see a lot of my fish, but I don't really say what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do that, but I got tons of footage. It's something I've been doing for quite a few years, and it does highlight too. Just to get back to the conservation effort.
Yeah.
I mean, between me and Sean,
I still have
the amount of fish we release.
Page yet.
Oh, gosh.
I still have hundreds of videos.
And
to
I think that's important too. Is just releasing fish. I mean, obviously, this area you get good fish to eat, and it's great to keep stuff like. To eat and stuff, but we release so much fish, and
especially when we're fishing in the peak times for their
peak
spawning.
Times, and you're catching so many, you can be selective, right? So let the big spawners go. I'd rather just keep farmed rainbows at that point.
That's usually what I keep.
Like feed them, and then you get your fill.
I'll let the naturals.
And good for you guys for doing that. That's always commendable for sure. I applaud you for doing that. Sean's gonna be on our season 4. We do a segment with a couple of my buddies there on the salmon fish. You didn't get to see John and Charlie, which kind of sucked.
Disappointed about that.
I know, and they wanted to see you too, but so be it. And then you guys are going to be in the salmon episode for Fuel the Fire TV on season 4. So I'm looking forward to that. I know a lot of people want to see that video.
We're going to be making more videos too together for sure.
That's awesome.
It's really
We've got
exciting.
some big things planned for the not too distant future. But I know you guys are pulling an all-nighter. You guys are coming to fish, so they took time out of their busy fishing schedule to squeeze in this podcast, and I called them out of Kagwong, so these guys are heading back. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
no problem.
Anytime.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Congratulations on winning the Derby, and hopefully we're all in the top 5 again next year. If not 1-2.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right,
be a battle
folks.
for the top.
Yeah, for sure. Always aim for the top. That's it for now. Remember to fuel your passion and fuel the fire. Get outdoors. Check us out on our Instagram, our YouTube, and get your buddies and pals and fishing partners to sign up.
And significant others.
To sign up and tune into our YouTube channel and our podcast. That's a wrap.
Right on.
Thanks, guys.